Hey there tech fans, Rick here again with another review, and today I have the DJI Air 2S drone. Now this is one of the very latest drones that DJI has released, and in my humble opinion, this may very well be the perfect flying machine. And I say that because what DJI has done with the Air 2S is taken their clever, innovative folding frame design and married that with a lot of the features and technologies normally only found on their higher end, more expensive drones. In addition, they've made this drone incredibly easy to fly. So they've built in autonomous features, safety features. The application allows you to do a lot of things you could never do with a drone before. So because of those reasons, I feel like the Air 2S is really the perfect drone for new flyers and even experienced flyers because of all the benefit it provides. What I love so much about it too is that it folds up into a package that's about the same size as a sneaker, so I can put it in my backpack along with the controller and take it with me everywhere I go. And I fly a lot of different drones, but honestly, this is the one when I leave the house to go flying that's in my bag more often than the others. Now let me get into some of the specifications, then I'll give you some of my experiences with the drone because I've been flying it ever since the day it was released, and hands down my favorite drone at this point. So specifications wise, there's a few things you want to consider when you're buying a drone. And the first one, because it's a flying camera, is the image quality. What kind of image can you capture from the drone, from video and pictures? Well, for starters, that's really dependent on the size of the sensor. The Air 2S has a 1-inch sensor on the front, which is a gigantic sensor compared to other drones of this size. So a 1-inch sensor means you're going to capture more detail in the videos you take or pictures you take. It also means it's going to be much better in those conditions where it's really bright or really dark, and it's going to give you a much better picture than other drones in the air. In addition to that, you can record video at 5.4K 30 frames a second, 4K at 60 frames a second, so you're getting sort of the latest video standards out of the drone. Now, 5.4K is something that a lot of people are anxious to start recording in, but quite honestly, a frame size that big is difficult to process. So most of my flying, I do 4K videos or sometimes 1080p videos if I'm posting them online. This drone handles all that without an issue. The other thing you want to consider is flight time, because when you put a drone up in the air, you want to be in the air as much as possible, and less time on the ground charging and changing batteries is a good thing. So this drone, as big as it is, when it's flying, and all the features that are built in that are all drinking electrons from the battery, can still fly for 31 minutes on a single charge. That's pretty incredible. And it's really easy to swap the battery, so you go out, you fly for 30 minutes, you land it, come back, swap a battery, put it back up in the air again. The reason 31 minutes is important as well to me is that I want to spend as much time on target at that point of interest to capture additional footage or additional pictures, so I'm sure I've got a shot I need. So 31 minutes means I can get out there really quick, I can spend a lot of time on target, and still be able to get back with plenty of life left in the battery. Another cool thing about it is how far can you fly the drone. Now in the United States, we have a visual line of sight requirement where you can't fly the drone further than you can keep an eye on it, and for me that's about 1,500 feet. But because DJI has been in the business so long and they've developed a lot of proprietary technologies, the communication standard between the remote controller and the drone is based on OcuSync 3, which is the latest version of their transport technology between the controller and the drone, and it's incredibly stable. It's not only incredibly stable, it's smart enough to find a frequency to sort of bind the drone to the controller, and if you're flying the drone in an area with a lot of interference from Wi-Fi or trees or buildings, it'll actually find the next most powerful frequency and switch to that. So it's constantly negotiating frequencies between the two and frequency hopping to make sure you've got the strongest connection. And because of that OcuSync 3 technology, this drone can fly an astounding 12 kilometers, which again, I'm not going to recommend you fly that far, but knowing I've got that rock solid signal between the two means I'm never going to have to worry about it losing connection when I'm flying around trees around buildings. So that's pretty incredible. In addition to that, they've built in a lot of safety features. So the unit itself is smart enough to know that if you're flying and you don't pay attention to how much battery is left, if it gets to the point and it knows how far away from you it is because it's based on GPS and GLONASS and it knows where the controller is, so the drone will actually take over at that point, turn around, it won't pay attention to you, it'll turn around and fly back to its home point and land exactly where it took off. So that safety feature is really nice because when you're flying a drone, you can definitely get involved in the image and you're blown away by the pictures and you're having a lot of fun. If you forget to look at the battery, you want to make sure the drone knows, hey Rick, you're not paying attention, I'm going to fly back and land. That's one of the safety features. It has obstacle avoidance built in 4 directions. So it's got a front sensors, it's got a top sensor, it's got a rear sensor, and 2 sensors on the bottom. So if you're flying near obstructions, maybe tree branches or wires or things like that, the drone will protect you. Because a lot of times when you're looking at the first person view, you may miss a tree branch if you're flying in close quarters. So this will see that tree branch and it'll back away. It'll let you know that you're about to run into something. So that protects your investment. It also keeps it up in the air, which is kind of what you want to do with a drone. All right, in addition to that, there's a ton of autonomous features built in. So you can actually do things like circle or helix or droney, where it's going to actually do things automatically. So you can stand in a field, hit a button, and the drone will automatically keep you in the center of that frame and spin around you to give you that beautiful cinematic shot. You can do like a droney where it's going to shoot away from you and give you that beautiful background behind you. There's a new one built in here called Boomerang, which is my favorite because what Boomerang does is it's sort of a circle, but it's an oblong circle. So it comes in really close in the front, then flies far away from you, then comes in again to complete the circle. It's a very dramatic shot. And the reason that's important is because those autonomous features allow you to become an incredibly good cinematographer the day you put the drone up in the air. Now, you're going to want to spend some time and develop your piloting skills, but it's really nice to know for new flyers that you can basically charge up the battery, put this thing up in the air, hit a button, and capture some incredible footage the first day you're flying it. So all those things being equal, I think they've done a phenomenal job with this drone, packing in all that technology. There are a lot of other drones in the market that are around this price point, but when you do a side-by-side comparison, you're going to find that this drone, for all the things I've mentioned, 31 minutes of flight time, 1-inch sensor, autonomy built in, 4-dimensional obstacle avoidance, front, back, up, and down, long flight times, plus the fact that you're dealing with a company like DJI that's been in the business for a long time, longer than most other companies that have come along, and they've really developed this technology and refined it over the generations of drones they've built to end up with a product like the Air 2S, which again, I'm calling the perfect flying machine because as an engineer, I think to myself, what could I do to improve this? Okay, a bigger sensor maybe, but are you going to really use a bigger sensor? Is that something you're going to be able to capture video and then have to edit that video? If you're a professional flyer, probably. So maybe there's another drone you'll look at with a bigger sensor. But for the average consumer, if you're doing commercial work, you're filming things for real estate agents, or you're doing any kind of documentary work, this is the perfect drone for all of those things. And the best part is, a brand new flyer can put this thing up in the air and be flying it like a professional day one. So anyway, that's pretty much it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this clip. I appreciate you watching, and until next time, stay nerdy.